Hi, I've been mopping up a few last 2018 movies as we get towards Oscar night, and one of them was Apostle, which is a movie picked up by Netflix and released last October. It's written and directed by Gareth Evans, everyone's favourite Welsh-Indonesian filmmaker, previously responsible for The Raid and The Raid 2, hugely acclaimed, didn't care for them myself. But this is a change of pace. Rather than being an Indonesian martial arts action movie, this is a horror movie set in 1905 about a man travelling to an offshore Christian community where his sister is apparently being held for ransom by some sort of cult, and he's trying to rescue her by posing as a new convert and investigating from the inside himself. It's a Wicker Man rip-off. Surprise, surprise! The debt that filmed most of The Wicker Man is incalculable. What's really shocking is that it has Michael Sheen in it, and also a number of really quite good actors. The main role is played by Dan Stevens, who seems to be doing a lot of odd horror movies, this and The Guest, and really doing everything he can to undermine his image from Downton Abbey. Michael Sheen is the leader of the commune, basically the Christopher Lee role, and he's rather good. It's nice to see him in a film where he gets to use his normal accent. About halfway through the film goes off in a slightly different direction where we find out more about the truth of what's going on in this commune, what's really going on the island. But Evans really demonstrates why he isn't that good a filmmaker. He's a really good second unit director who has a very good agent because he's been allowed to write and direct these films, and he clearly has very little discipline as a writer. The Raid 2, I couldn't watch after the first 10 minutes because it erupts into a fight sequence immediately. A huge brawl between 30 people in a muddy prison yard, and in 2 seconds everyone looks exactly the same because they're all caked in mud, and I have no idea what's going on right from the off. And that's how you start your movie. You've lost me immediately. Apostle is over 2 hours long. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is too long for a horror movie. And it's very undisciplined in its structure. I don't know what point it's trying to make that might be in any way original or interesting. There are moments where it shifts into action movie mode, where there are a couple of fights, and suddenly it's being filmed like an action movie. And the difference between the period folk horror and the action movie direction really jars. It's like it's suddenly turned into a Michael Bay film or something, much more sort of tightly budgeted and sort of smaller scale. But even so, it's totally wrong, and it dumps you straight out of the movie. There's also far too much. There's lots of blood and gore. One of the whole points of the movie is about bloodletting, but there are some moments of real over-the-top gore and violence which felt not credible in context, and ultimately it just felt like a real misfire. It's very sloppy and slapdash, and I'm surprised that it has the level of talent in the cast that it does. Paul Higgins as well, from the thick of it, is one of the co-founders of the community, and Sharon Morgan, who's a very fine Welsh actor, has a major supporting role, the nature of which is a spoiler. And I sort of thought, what is it that attracted all these people to doing this film? Because it's not a big budget film. It's not anything that's, I think, being seen particularly widely. It's had some reaction on Twitter, but nothing more than most films released on Netflix. I think it's very much a mainstream view of what an extreme gory film is like, but it's really pretty lightweight, not terribly original or clever stuff, and it only confirms my opinion that Gareth Evans is a hugely overrated filmmaker. So it's another film for 2018 that isn't good enough.